This is Scott Vanderplu, and you're listening to the Artist Edition Index podcast, episode 70.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fast.
Thank you for joining me once more as I take the written word from aeindex.org and bring it to as much life as I can muster in my voice, without sounding like a game show announcer. I'm not sure how successful I'm being, but here we are. I apologize if I sound like I'm going too fast or maybe being brief. This is the third time I'm recording this podcast today. I use Audacity, and a newer version, 3.2.0, has come out, and it has caused me nothing but issues. So I had to uninstall that and reinstall 3.1.2 or 1.3. And that seems to be successful and working. So we're going to go with that. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I get through this episode for today. It's exciting to be able to record on the last day of the month. I feel like I've been doing other days, first, the second to last day, whatever can work. But this works out nicely. So here we are. All right. Let's talk solicitations, because there's no shipping changes, but the solicitations list new books. So we should get into that. Jump right in. No heady topic for this month, just what's new, what's going on. So maybe before I get into that, if you are looking on the site and thinking, hey, Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man Artist Edition came out, where's Scott's review of that? I am in the process of moving. I think I mentioned that last month. I'm moving 2 hours away from where I currently live, and I have pre-ordered a bunch of stuff at my new comic store. So my new books are there, but they're 2 hours away, and I have not had a chance to go get them. So look for a review of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man Artist Edition, and the Best of EC Artisan Edition will both be coming out. Well, they came out this week, and my reviews will be coming out next month. So thanks for your patience there. I will add that I finally got notice, and I drove over to my post box in New York State, and I was able to pick up my Winterman Artist Edition. I ordered 3 copies. It was cheaper to buy a retailer bundle. One for me. I'll put 2 up on the store. I haven't figured out what price to put them up as yet, and I'm going to want to review it first and then list it. I don't know. When I buy books like extras, I try and offset the cost of mine by selling extras. That's what I did with that Spirit Gallery, and what I did with the other, the Buscema Gallery book. So that's sort of my plan. Also, I mean, if I put the price too high, nobody's going to buy it, so that's the other issue. But look for my review for that, I think, next week. So pretty exciting with that. So I was glad to see that. Also, user handle Brian Wells from the Tapatalk forums sent me a book. So a reader/listener sent me something. This is my first. I was very excited. So I'll be reviewing that next month as well. It's a gallery book from California of Sandman. So that's pretty exciting. Glad to get that. I had looked at it previously and thought about ordering it. I think it was from the Cartoon Museum. I just never got around to it. So this was exciting to receive a gift. So thank you very much, Brian. All right, let's get to those solicitations. So we got 2 from publishers and then 1 from Diamond. So the first publisher solicitation was Will Eisner's The Best of the Spirit Artisan Edition. Will Eisner's work on the Spirit was, in its way, as groundbreaking as Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. Both artistic achievements rewrote the book on sequential storytelling and had lasting impacts on all that followed them. Featured within these pages are 17 Spirit stories, all from Eisner's peak period, 1946 to 1950, generally regarded as his best work on the Spirit. Eisner is also considered to be the founding father of the graphic novel, with the publication of A Contract with God in 1978. He's also the namesake of the Eisner Awards, the Academy Awards of the comics industry, held each year at Comic-Con International. So let's just have a peek there. I think these pages, they average 8 pages, so 17 times 8 is 136, and the book is 144 pages, so that sounds pretty good. So solicited currently for April 18th, that's Tuesday. It's 8 by 12 inches because it's an artisan edition. As I said, 144 pages and $39.99 USD. All standard artisan edition items. So that's exciting. I'm not sure why Contract with God was mentioned in the solicitation or the Eisner Awards, other than the fact that IDW has won a lot of them for these books. All right. Solicitation 2 This is Peyo's Johann et Pierre Dupuis Artiste Edition. So that's exciting. La guerre de la Sept Fontaine. Johann and Pierre-Louis, yeah. 10th album, La Guerre de la Sept Fontaine, is a key album in Peyo's career. See how I mumble through the French parts because I'm no good. Firstly, because it constitutes the pinnacle of his artistic production, one of those magical moments when Franco-Belgian comics were at their peak. Then, because it's precisely during the publication of this album that the Smurfs, who made their second appearance here, will leave the status of secondary characters to become the center of the universe of Peyo. A unique moment in the career of the Brussels designer. For the first time, the original boards of this founding album of the legend Peyo are reproduced in facsimile in the original format. So, solicited for November 25th, 335 millimeters by 470 millimeters, so 33 inches by 47 inches, so that's, 33.5 centimeters by 47 centimeters, which would be, 14 by, 20? 80 pages, 199 euros. Yes, these are expensive, but this is the third Dupuis Artiste edition. The first two, Gilles Jourdain and the other Natasha, they've been outstanding. I've got the Natasha one here. I just haven't reviewed it. I need to get on these things. As I said, this month I moved, so I only was able to get one review up. Just a lot going on. A bit of laziness. Anyway, that's Solicitation 2. And Solicitation 3 was from the Diamond Previews World Catalog for October 2022. And that is something we've seen already from PRH Solicitation. That is Kevin Nolan's Marvel Heroes Artist Edition. I will give you the blurb anyway. Kevin Nolan is a true artist. He has won the coveted Eisner Award for his art on Jack B. Quick in collaboration with Alan Moore, as well as for inking Batman Sword of Azrael over Joe Quesada. This volume will contain a selection of Nolan's best works for Marvel Comics, covers, pages, and 2 complete stories, most notably his fully painted 62-page Man-Thing graphic novel, written by Howard the Duck creator Steve Gerber. A true labor of love, the graphic novel took 25 years to complete. An artisan edition collects stories, covers, and pages have been reproduced from the original art, allowing the reader to view them as closely as possible with the original art. So typo there from IDW/Diamond. It should be an artist edition, not artisan edition. Scheduled for April 12th, 12 by 17 inches, 176 pages, $150. Amazon link up for that and the other two things I mentioned already. Nothing from Things from Another World yet, but I am watching that as well. So I think next week I'll have the link up for that. That's the solicitations. So if we go to talk about shipping changes, there aren't any. We've added these new books up. Judge Dredd by Mick McMahon, Apex Edition, is still coming. I think we talked about last month, the Lone Wolf and Cub Gallery Edition new printing was sort of a stealth listing on Diamond for December 28th. I reached out to Dark Horse Media Relations, and they did not get back to me. Unfortunately and sadly, that's a regular occurrence. Media Relations almost never get back to me from comic companies. I don't know why. That forces me to try and track down an editor, and generally the editors will give me info. So I guess I'm just, my market is too small for people to pay me much attention, which is a bit sad. All right, there you go. Boo-hoo for me. So we'll have to watch that. We'll see what happens. The original solicitation for the Lone Wolf Cub Gallery Edition now has a note on it telling you to go look for the new date. The new product code. So it looks like Diamond full steam ahead is going to get a new printing here. Amazon is not really listing the new printing yet. Maybe, it's only September. Maybe we'll see that shortly. Pretty exciting anyways, though. Great book. Wonderful manga. Something we see so little of in this AE format. All right, let's talk the poll. This is from our good friend and Patreon patron, David Jacoy, who always does wonderful work for us. Pulp properties, the original heroes or anti-heroes who have fascinated kids and adults since the 1930s with colorful costumes and fantastic adventures. Amazing writers and artists have left their mark on these classics, but which deserves an AE format book? 5 choices. Buck Rogers, Doc Savage, John Carter of Mars, The Shadow, Zorro. Voting has been way ahead for John Carter of Mars, followed by The Shadow, then Buck Rogers, Zorro, and Doc Savage. Now, Doc Savage, I think, is done by Cockrum, and it was a trial. It never actually came to print. Dick Culkin did the early Buck Rogers, and it is the originals look good. It's a different style, a bit dated. The Shadow stuff, the art's interesting. Vernon Green. But it's more of it really is a pulp adventure, sort of almost like an action-y superhero strip. Not in the vein of what we consider shadow pulps. And then Zorro was by Tom Yates, and that's much later. In the 80s. Oh, hold on a second. I'm going to click on an image, see if I can get no, in the 90s. And then we have My Clear Forerunner, John Carter of Mars, illustrated by John Coleman Mars, son of Edgar Rice Burroughs. And the art is stunning. It is gorgeous. It's got that, it's got this ink work like Alex Raymond. It is so nice, from the 40s. Limited run. I would so love to see this collected in an AE format book. This is just screams AE format. Actually, so does the Buck Rogers. Really gorgeous stuff. But I wonder if the Rice Burroughs estate has this original art. That's something to look into for sure. Very interesting. All right. That was my vote. I think that was most people's votes, and really nice. That's the poll for this month. All right. We're flying here. As again, my concern of talking too fast. And only one review for this month. I'm going to talk about some letters I got. Letters. First off, where is he? Man alive. This is what as you get older. So Julian K. emailed me and said, besides eBay, Amazon, do you know if there are any groups, websites where one can buy, sell, trade, use IDW artist editions? Couldn't find anything, he said. And I responded back and said, yeah, I'm in some omnibus groups that sell. The biggest one only lets you sell by cover, so if you got some older, rare ones, you don't want to sell them there. The Tapatalk forum has a buy-sell. There were recently some artist editions going through there, so that's active. But it would be great if our little group here on the forum would do more buy-sell trading. We are the largest English language group for AE format books on the interwebs. So it would be nice if we could promote that or try that. I don't know how that would work. But interesting. As well, I had an interesting transaction. Hans Van M. I will not give last name. Tracked me. So he was looking for a Mad Artist Edition and through Google search found the store on my site and purchased the book. And he was unfamiliar with PayPal being in Europe. So I agreed to try a wire transfer, and it was laborious, painful, and expensive. So I would not recommend doing that again, and I have made a note on my store that from now on I'll only do PayPal. He had to pay a big fee to send the wire transfer, which I think was too much. And then my fee receiving the wire transfer was about double what PayPal would have charged for the whole transaction. So it's wire transfer not the way to go for sales items like this. The only other time I've done wire transfer was buying and selling houses. So, when you're talking $500,000, then, your $50 or $80 fee doesn't seem so bad. When you're talking, $150 book, it seems bad. All right. Enough of that. And it was interesting is he didn't even know about the site and the reviews. So I got a new reader there. So that's exciting. And he sent me a picture of him with the Mad book. I keep forgetting how big it is. I think it is the heaviest AE format book that's been published. It was 14 pounds when I shipped it. All right. So that's that. I will take a moment talking about supporting the site. 3 ways to do it. One is using the links I have on the site, and I want to thank everybody who's used the links on my website recently to purchase books. I had quite a few purchases, thanks to Another World, people buying the Spider-Man Artist Edition or the EC Artisan Edition. So quite a few sales. So this has been a great month for me. I think I'm actually going to be able to pay for my McFarlane Spider-Man Artist Edition through my PayPal affiliates, through my Things from Another World affiliate this month. So that is super exciting. The other way to support me is being a Patreon patron. It's $1 or whatever you'd like to contribute a month. We don't do a lot of I don't know why I use the row. It's just me. I think everybody knows that by now. Everything to do with the site, the reviews, YouTube, everything. It's just me. I don't do a lot for the Patreon patrons. As I say, it's a thank you for appreciating the site, for enjoying the site, and for using the site. The third way to support me is by using the store. Lots of things on the store still. Some good stuff. That Mad, I have a second Mad Artist Edition sealed. Pretty exciting. Still have Bernie Wrightson's Buck Monster, and as the Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein Artist Edition just keeps fading further and further into the future, if you want, I would recommend picking up that portfolio. It's quite a nice book. And what else is rare? Oh, Usagi Jimbo Samurai and Other Stories Gallery Edition is pretty rare. So you may want to pop on the store and have a look at either one of those. Great stuff. Speaking of pickups, or not picking up, I drove to my New York State post box this week and picked up my 3 copies of John Paul Leon's The Wintermen Artist Edition. So that looks great. I ordered a 3-pack retail because it dropped the price down, and that I'm hoping by selling the 2 other copies, it will help offset the cost of my copy. I have not figured out what to list them for yet. I want to do the review first with the YouTube video, and then I will list them on the store probably the same day, and I will try and come up with a cost for that. I have to check eBay, check how the book's selling otherwise. Yeah. So that's the my impoverished plea there every month. So thanks for listening to that. All right, let's talk out of print sales. Interesting month again. So we'll go through what sold. I won't mention any zeros. Well, there's quite a few sales this month. Let's start with records. I think people like the records the best. So a new record for John Byrne's X-Men Artifact Edition, $950 on August 3rd. Wow, that's the regular. That's not the signed edition even. Second record, Sam Keith's The Max Artist Edition, $550. Now all of those were signed, but they don't come up a lot on the aftermarket. Third record this month, Jim Starlin's Marvel Cosmic Artifact Edition, regular edition, $425. Wow, what is going on? I mean, when people want a book, they want it. All right, let's talk sales. Alex Toast, Bravo for Adventure, sold for $119.95. So that's below the new printing came out this week as well. It's $125, so that's cheaper than either one. 3 copies of Alien: The Illustrated Story for averaging $72, bargain. 1 copy of Basil Wolverton's Weird Worlds for $172.20. 2 copies of Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller Gallery Edition, averaging $129.58. Good deal there too. 6 copies of Bernie Wrightson Artifact Edition second print, sold for an average of $189.99. Wow, those are really moving. I don't know where these are coming from. What person in California has got this big stack of these? They just keep selling them. 2 copies of Bill Sienkiewicz's Mutants, Midnights, and Assassins, averaging $398.28. Wow, still the book to have. I wish I had bought more copies of that. 1 copy of Conan Red Nail's Original Art Archives for $200. 1 copy of Dave Gibbons' Watchmen for $119.99. 1 copy of Dave Stevens' Rocketeer Artist Edition second print, $166.33. 1 copy of David Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again, $380. Eesh. 2 copies of Don Rose's The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, Volume 1, averaging $150. 1 copy of Elquest Gallery Edition, $145. 1 copy of Fantagraphics Studio Edition, Hal Foster's Prince Valiant for $187.49. That's up from what we've seen for a while. 7 copies of Frank Miller's Sin City, The Hard Goodbye Curious Collection, averaging $103.06. Now, I find this interesting that those are all up on eBay too, because we've seen some online retailers also come up with copies of that on sale. So I think there was some sort of warehouse find there that's suddenly there for sale. 1 copy of Gil Kane's Amazing Spider-Man, $116.50. 1 copy of Jack Davis's EC Stories, $225. 4 copies of Jack Kirby, The Forever People, averaging $135.51. Come on, people. I have that for $125 on the store. Why is no one buying my copy? All right. Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four Artist Edition. That's this regular 12 by 17 inch size. 4 copies averaging $176.24. 1 copy of Joe Kubert's Tarzan of the Apes, $113.74. 2 copies of John Buscema's Silver Surfer, averaging $172.63. 2 copies of John Byrne's Marvel Classics, averaging $157.49. 2 copies of John Byrne's X-Men Artifact Edition, averaging $850 because of that record sale. 4 copies of John Romita's The Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition, averaging $190.49. 1 copy of Lone Wolf and Cub for $315.95. Oosh, see, that needs a new printing. 1 copy of Mad Artist Edition, $175. What's that? $25 over what I have my copy for in the store. Yes, I can't help myself. 1 copy of Michael Golden's Micronauts for $316.11. Man. 2 copies of Mike Mignola's Hellboy in Hell, first printing, $153.25. 2 copies of B. Craig Russell's Murder Mysteries and Other Stories Gallery Edition, averaging $94.35. 1 copy of P. Craig Russell's Strange Dreams, $68.93. Russell stuff doesn't come up a lot, so I'm surprised to see those. 1 copy of Ross Andrews' Amazing Spider-Man for $149.99. 2 copies of Sam Keeps the Max, averaging $440, again because of that record sale. 4 copies of Spawn Vault Edition, averaging $368.75. 1 copy of Vault Edition 2, $184.94. 2 copies of Steranko, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. First print, averaging $177.50. 1 copy, The Prisoner, $201.06. Wow, so that it's been high. It dropped last month and back up this month. 1 copy of Walter Simonson Manhunter for $163.89, and 1 copy of Will Eisner's The Spirit Artist Edition, $190. Again, the best of is coming out, but there's nothing like those 2 copies of the Spirit Artist Edition. So gorgeous. Interesting that person who bought the that Man Artist Edition from me, Hans, he was also looking for Spirit. Great book. Great books. Volume 1 and 2. Man alive. Love to see a 3. Come on, they're out there. Those stories are out there. Let's get a 3. All right. This brings me to my one review. Asterix et Latraviata, l'album du crayon. This is a great first. All of the original sketches from an Asterix album presented in their original format. Ideal for appreciating in large format the drawing talents of Albert Uderzo, the great master of comics. As a bonus, as you say among the Romans, the description of the different stages of the realization of a comic strip and the unpublished blooper of the album Asterix and Latraviata. An innovative work for the development of a work already listed in the International Heritage of Comics. So this is published by L'Édition Albert René, 2001. 42 centimeters by 28 centimeters, or 16.5 by 11. 104 pages. It's a hardcover, landscape hardcover with dust jacket. I put up some links for this. You can get it from Amazon.ca, which is where I got my copy. Definitely the easiest for North American shipping. Or you can get it from Amazon France or BD Fugue. All great spots. It's interesting. So this is the oldest AE format book I reviewed. I posted on a Facebook bande dessinée group and asking them what the oldest was, and maybe it's because I posted in English. I got no responses. So I'm on the hunt for what is the oldest AE format book from France in the bande dessinée, or Belgium, either way. And interestingly, in this introduction of this book, they mentioned that a limited edition copy of something like this was published in 1995. Let me see if I can get the name of that book. That was, come on, it's in the Google. It's La Galère d'Obélix, and that was published in 1995. And that was the same as this book, landscape. I'm sorry, it's not landscape. Yes, it is landscape. Landscape, original size artboards of pencils, Uderzo's pencils, signed by Uderzo. Now this thing, 520 copies. The last auction was a few years ago, and it was 850 euros. So this is well out of reach for anybody. And that's the beauty of them publishing this volume. I mean, here it is 21 years later, still available. So they must have put out a big print run. And for a reasonable price. Oh my goodness. I did not put the price in the review. Isn't that crazy? Let me go to Amazon France and get the actual price here. So it is interesting. So it's 49.65 euros. Hold on. I'm looking at the back of my book. See if there's a price in here. No, there's no price in the book. Isn't that interesting? I forgot the price. I don't think I've ever done that in a review, because I paid Canadian. If I go to the bottom of my review, I can see what I paid, because it's the same. Down to the bottom of my review, and I paid $63.49. Yeah, so interesting. Better deal in Canadian there for sure. Gorgeous book, really nice presentation, great design, introduction by Uderzo, and then boom, it gets right into it. So the beauty of this is, most bande dessinée comics are produced in half boards, so half the artboard, and this whole book is the collection of artboards. When they publish an album, and I've mentioned this before in the reviews I've done, right? The album, they take the two boards, A and B. Normally the artist numbers them as like 1A, 1B, and then that page 1, right? They paste them together. When they're publishing an album, a lot of the pages appear on a half page with ads and other things. And in the albums here, right, then they paste them together. And here we get the largest presentation. I think this is full-size original art. So all pencils, no inks here. They get the whole story, but we do get digital lettering, which is interesting. And scans are gorgeous, very nice. Great pencils. I had some trouble with my pictures. My pictures are a bit dark. Normally I use I use GIMP freeware for my image correction, and then I normally do white levels, but when I did white levels on these, they went blue. I think it's because of the light I was using, or because it's pencils and then the black ink for the lettering. I don't know. Anyway, really great stuff. And then so the whole album is here in half boards. Then it goes into they show you get a colored page, you get a acetate overlay, which is not bound in, so you can sit it on top. I've got that in the review too. And then it goes through, it gives you process. It goes right from the idea of the book, character sketches and designs, pencils, inks, lettering, coloring, printing. It just gives you the whole, like in 4 pages, it gives you the entire process of how the book is produced. And then there's some corrections and bloopers from the book. And table of contents, there's every page is numbered. It's a really great presentation. My only concern with this book is that dust jacket. My copy arrived damaged. I had a rip and some bends, and I put it in my Brodart jacket cover, and I probably should submit a replacement request through Amazon and get a better copy, because the rip in the dust jacket bothers me. But I read about this in the forum a while ago. I ordered a copy. I order a lot of books from Amazon.ca, like Manasne books like this, and almost inevitably they are canceled. I never get them, just because they're not. They list it as being not really available, but on order, available for order. So I order, and then they never come in. So eventually I cancel the order. But this book, I ordered it. Boom! I had to wait a week, and then I got my copy. So it was really great. Very happy to get this. And like I said, it's the oldest AE format book I have, from 2001, and now we know of an older one. We know one from 1995 from the same company. That's right. That's the Goscinny and Uderzo's publishing company, right? L'Édition Albert René. So really exciting. And that's what somebody on Twitter commented. This book's been available for 20 years, and I'm just hearing about it now. Yep, that's the beauty of the internet, right? Is one, that you can uncover things like this that have been, lost or unknown to you, and then with a review like this, hopefully it meets more. Right? And I also did a flip through video, and that's well worth taking a look at, because actually I lift the overlay, I put the overlay on, you see all the pages. So take a look at the video. It's only 5 minutes. I just do a flip through. I don't talk. You hear the pages moving. Like I said, I've got to work on something better for the videos, but that's how it is now. All right, that's my review. I did want to mention, I forgot, we're going to be changing the format. Well, not the format, but we're going to be doing some different surveys. Great supporter of the site, Billy Hines, retweets a lot of things, sends people to A-Index, which I appreciate. Thank you, Billy. And I mentioned his last name because his full name's on the Twitter account, so why not, right? He's had some ideas for polls, and David Jacoy he's read those as well, and he's fully on board and wants to do the same thing. So we're going to be doing some new polls. Things like, if there's no lettering, how would you like to see the art presented? Questions about how do you collect? That kind of thing. So it'll still be 5 questions. I'd like to keep it to 5. 5 options, with 1 question, and then you pick your option. And we'll do that for the next few months. So that should be exciting, I think. All right, that's it for this month. Thank you for joining me. I hope I didn't go too fast. And like I said, this is my 3rd time around, so I'm hoping, let's hope Audacity corrects the software, because I won't be installing an updated version for quite some time now. And everything we've talked about, I say we, because I'm talking to you, and that's us, and we. Everything's available at aeindex.org. Any question you'd like to ask me, please shoot me an email, scott@aeindex.org. I love questions. I love to look through my collection. Not right now, because it's all in storage. We bought a house. Sold the house, was not expecting to sell the house so quickly, so we're a month between houses. So all my books are in storage, which terrifies me. I couldn't find boxes for my collection. So basically I took 4 large books, wrapped them in a garbage bag, taped them up as one bundle, because I keep all my boxes, so all my books are in boxes. And then for the smaller books, I put them in bundles of 6, garbage bag, well taped. Any book that wasn't in a box or anything that I thought I'd be reviewing, I brought to work. And when I look at my pile of books at work, I think I have, I got about 60 artist edition format books at work here right now, which is crazy. But yeah, I can answer questions as best as possible. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk again next month.
Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over. She'll never find a sweet man like me.